Hey, 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 happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. So, today is, or I should say tonight is, May 1st. It's a brand new month. Cool. It's Wednesday. Means it's a Wargame Wednesday, too. This is episode 294 of The Daily Dope. On tonight's show, I am actually going to unbox and take a first look at Warfighter. Now, this is the modern edition of Warfighter from Dan Verssen Games. I also have some expansions we're going to look at as well. So I will show those off as we jump into the unboxing in just a bit. I see Robert Moffat's already here, hanging out in chat. Hey, and I'm on time. The stream started at 7 Central. I was going to say every once in a while I'm a little late. Usually I'm a little bit late by a couple of minutes or so. But today, and yesterday too, yesterday I was on time. So, do want to point out, as Rob is showing you, if you're watching on YouTube, there is chat available. If you have a question, feel free to ask. If you want to say howdy, feel free to say hi. And if there's something about Warfighter or the expansions we take a look at that you want to get a closer look at, by all means, chime in. Do want to point out, chat is not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of these stranger commenters at bay, but I do pay attention to the chat. So, chime in, I will respond. Hey, Dan from No Enemies here is popping in. Good thing we got Dan here. I would like to ask Dan, because I believe Dan had an opportunity to take a peek at For What Remains, which is a Kickstarter that just launched yesterday for Dan Verssen Games, which I did cover in the news. I think Dan had an opportunity to see a prototype. So if you get a chance, Dan, just maybe, throw out a couple of sentences in chat. Let us know what you thought of it, because it looks pretty cool. It does look pretty cool. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you check out some of the videos on the Gaming Gang channel and you like them, by all means, please subscribe. Be sure to ring that little bell, because that will not only notify you when a new video is uploaded, it will also tell you when the stream goes live within about 5 minutes or so. And be sure to tell a friend not only about thegaminggang.com, but also the Gaming Gang channel here on YouTube as well. Word of mouth always helps. Gotta say, I am getting close to 4,000 followers over on Twitter, so that's cool. Here on YouTube, I just kind of hover around that 1,300 subscribers, or I don't know. I do not know. I know I'm an acquired taste, so I get that. So don't worry about that. I know not everyone is into this show. So, yeah, just seeing who we've got cooking in chat right now. So we got Rob and we got Dan. So, got a little bit of news today. Not a ton, but I do have a little bit. Do want to jump in. It is Wargame Wednesday, so how about a Wargame piece? That's right, because Hollandspiele has a new ancient wargame that's on the horizon. I've got the dope on Antony and Cleopatra. John Thiessen's streamlined approach to operational warfare in the 19th century in games such as Hood's Last Gamble and the Campaign of Nations has won him a number of admirers. Now he turns his attention to the last war of the Roman Republic, to the marching of legions and the sailing of fleets, to the rise of Augustus and the fall of Mark Antony and the savvy Queen of Egypt, Cleopatra. Each player must raise troops and build ships using these military forces to enact their will and conduct campaigns against the enemy. Along the way, they will face the challenges inherent in ancient warfare, the difficulty of keeping troops supplied, perilous storms at sea, the spreading of plagues, and the opportunistic assaults of Rome's external enemies. As the war wears on, both sides will attempt to chip away at the other's prestige and standing. If your prestige falls low enough, your troops and provinces might defect, tipping the balance. And should it fall to 0, you lose this high-stakes battle. The winner shall rule over an empire. The loser? Well, as Octavian said before Cleopatra's son was strangled, 2 Caesars are one too many. The spoils of victory and the consequences of defeat might not be quite as serious as all that when the troops are made of cardboard, but Antony and Cleopatra allows you to refight this epic conquest for ultimate power in the relative safety of your home or gaming club. I would hope that your home or gaming club is safe. Though somewhat more granular and detailed than Mr. Thiessen's other games for Hollandspiele, this remains a quick, compelling, and accessible exploration of this fascinating subject. Antony and Cleopatra is for 2 players, ages 14 and up, plays in about 2 hours, and it carries an MSRP of $50. I do believe this is out right now. So I do believe that this is out, and I gotta admit, showing off some of the components, $50 seems like a pretty good deal on this. I love like ancient history. I like seeing games that kind of delve into historical aspects or historical campaigns or battles and things like that we haven't seen done to death. You know, like the Battle of the Bulge, as I always like to say. Dan's talking a little bit about the For What Remains. Says the designer did a spot on his show, but you didn't get a prototype. Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I must have completely misunderstood. I thought I saw somewhere that you had gotten a prototype, and I was like, oh, hey, that's cool. Sweet. So, but yeah, sorry about that. I knew you had something. You would release something, Dan, about For What Remains, because that looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. So Dan also points out that he really likes Hollandspiele. I have never actually worked with them, but I commented on something on Twitter one time that, because I think it's a husband-wife team that do Hollandspiele, that basically run Hollandspiele. And I misunderstood what the husband was trying to say, and it sounded really like whiny, and why don't we get more reviews from reviewers, and I was like, that attitude's not going to get you anywhere. And he got pissed at me, and he was like, that's not what I'm saying, and blah blah. I was like, okay, all right, okay, I misunderstood. It happens. It's the internets. Come on, the interwebs. You sit there and sarcasm is lost on everyone. All right, so there is an RPG Kickstarter which has caught my eye. It's for a new edition of the cult hit Faraway Land, and I've got the dope. The Faraway Land OSR is a reimagining of the Faraway Land RPG through the lens of OSR-style games and mechanics. This project was inspired by Swords and Wizardry Light, a stripped-down, rules-light version of Swords and Wizardry that uses only D20s and D6s. FAL was originally inspired by simple, old-school gaming mechanics that place emphasis on characters, story, and adventures rather than heavy rules. This version of FAL uses familiar mechanics, 6 stats, HP, AC, etc., mashed into the Faraway Land setting. It maintains the tradition of a rules-like game while using a more well-known system that is compatible with the world's most famous RPG and many of its clones. Hey, at least they didn't say the world's most popular role-playing game, which is kind of like, that is the exact wording you're supposed to use with open game license, I guess. Essentially, FAL OSR is a complete circle back to what initially inspired the original game, set in the gonzo world of Faraway Land. The physical book is 130 pages, 8x5x11, full color. It features rules for character creation, new classes, new playable races, 100 monsters, new spells, tons of rules for various mini games, and lots more. detailed chapter by chapter at the Kickstarter website. The book is written, tested, and finished. It has a ton of artwork in the style of Faraway Land and maintains the quirky nature of that setting while giving players familiar, although modified rules. The PDF is bookmarked with a complete index and table of contents. These rules were designed to be light and simple while being modular enough that they can be added or subtracted from the core at will. XP has been removed, leveling has been simplified, alignment is no more. Character creation is fast and fun and has little mini-games to make the process of creating a character its own game. Combat is deadly and designed to be fast while giving players loads of options as how they can stave off death. Magic is modified to be a bit more open and allow for a broader range of class types. Faraway Land is designed to be quirky and deadly and fun and dangerous while also being highly modular in form. There is a quick Kickstarter video, it's about 3 minutes, a little less than 3 minutes, from Simian Circle Games, so let's kick back and take a look.
Hey everyone. So if you're unfamiliar with the Faraway Land role-playing game, it's a rules-light tabletop RPG that's heavily influenced by a lot of old-school RPGs. It's quirky, it's weird, colorful, it's really deadly, and it's a mashup of all kinds of pop culture and fantasy elements that have inspired me over the last 30 years. In the last few years, Faraway Land has built a core group of followers. This is mainly brought about by the Kickstarter that we had for the Tome of Awesome in 2014, and then last year with the expansion of 5 additional books that were added to the game. Now we want to open the world of Faraway Land to even more folks. This Kickstarter is for an OSR version of Faraway Land. We have completely revamped the rules of the game and made them compatible with old school versions of the world's most popular RPG and its clones, while keeping the Faraway Land setting and flavor. But this isn't just a clone. Mechanics for magic, combat, leveling, classes, races, and more have been revised to be more reflective of the Faraway Land universe and that style of play. We've included rules for naval combat, mass combat, tons of mini-games, world-building games, training montages, combat achievements, and more that reflect the unique style that is Faraway Land. The core of the game remains OSR-driven and compatible, while allowing GMs and players the option to use modular systems included in this book to modify how they play other OSR-style games. If you're interested in more information on this book, check out the Kickstarter page. We've given a chapter-by-chapter breakdown. We've provided a bunch of samples of the artwork that's in the book. All of the book is laid out. The writing is done, the playtesting is done, the art is done, the book's formatted. We're ready to go. So we hope you'll join us as we introduce the Faraway Land OSR core rules, and thank you for watching.
The Project for Far Away, the OSR edition, I should say Faraway Land, the OSR edition is over 400% funded. You can reserve a copy of the core book in PDF for a $10 pledge, the PDF and softcover book for a $15 pledge, or you can snag the hardcover and PDF for a $22 pledge through May 29th. Expected delivery is this August because, according to the Kickstarter, everything's done. All the artwork is done, all the writing is done, everything's finished. It's just they are actually seems to me to be using Kickstarter kind of as an order fulfillment more than anything else. So Dan asks, does the theme art make an attractive RPG? Does this idea sell the game, or are mechanics an important factor in selling an RPG? Well, if we're looking at this, my understanding is, and I am not overly familiar with Faraway Land, my understanding is this is pretty gonzo. It's pretty wild and kind of out there as far as the setting. I have heard good things about it. That is why I'm actually sharing the Kickstarter. If I heard this is crap, I'd be like, no. As far as the artwork, I think the artwork is just supposed to be kind of goofy and kind of oddball This would not be artwork that, your traditional 5th edition D&D player or Pathfinder player would be sitting there going, wow, I really dig that artwork. Although the artwork really is a throwback to some of the like old school, some of the cartoons we used to see in Dragon magazine. We're not all that great as far as the art goes, but this just I don't know, the artwork just kind of makes me chuckle when I see it. So like I said, this is already completely funded. Yes, like we've got nuns riding bears, attacking people with what looks like scythes or something. I don't know. So, what makes an attractive role-playing game? Gameplay or subject and artwork? I like artwork in my RPGs. You've seen some of my role-playing game reviews. I don't really care that much about mechanics because I know for a fact any game I'm going to run, I am going to kit bash some of the mechanics. I'm going to take stuff out that I'm not big on. I'm going to add stuff in that I do like. So mechanics don't necessarily make or break a role-playing game for me. I mean, I'll look at a role-playing game that has like really awful mechanics, or it's a terrible system, or something just doesn't seem right. And I will, of course, in a review, I will point that out. But me, usually I'm looking at the setting. I like the fluff. I like the background. Yeah, so I think, to me, that's more the big seller for a role-playing game than simply just the mechanics, even the artwork. I have seen plenty of role-playing game products that have come out over the years that had just way too much artwork, way too much fluff, not enough gaming material. Wizards of the Coast. It was they were notorious for doing that with 4th edition. There was always like tons of artwork. You'd buy a 100-page book, and you'd maybe get 20 pages of actual gaming material. So, I do have one final news piece. This is actually role-playing game related too, because the latest role-playing game from designer Alan Barr and Gallant Knight Games is available in PDF. I've got the dope on Tiny Supers. Tiny Supers is the newest iteration of the minimalist role-playing system, Tiny D6. Powered by the Tiny D6 engine, with streamlined mechanics that utilize only 1 to 3 single 6-sided dice on every action, characters that can be written on a 3x5 note card, and easy to understand and teach rules, Tiny Supers is great for all groups, ages, and experience levels who want to enjoy fast and accessible superheroics. Characters are created quickly with a simple power selection system designed to be fast, intuitive, and easy to understand. A wide range of innovations on the Tiny D6 rule set allow you to craft nearly any superhero you can imagine. Versatile power traits model comic book style powers, utilizing a 3-tier format to show the increasing potency of superpowers. Subtle changes to the combat system allow for quick, cinematic comic book action while still remaining easy to resolve and understand. Featuring the near-future comic-inspired Gallant Knight Games' first default Tiny D6 setting, as well as standalone microverses, Tiny Supers provides you with a toolbox approach and framework to create exciting and easy-to-run superhero stories at your table. So grab some dice, some pencils, some friends, hopefully you got some friends, and get ready for some minimalist, straightforward, super heroic role-playing. You can get your hands on the 264-page core book for Tiny Supers in PDF for $19.99 from DriveThruRPG. So, gotta point out, I really liked Tiny Dungeons. So, I reviewed that, that was on the Daily Dope a year and a half ago, maybe more than that. So, but I really, really enjoyed it. And I gotta admit, for people who are new to role-playing games or even a long-time gamers looking for something that's just real quick to jump into, the Tiny D6 system is really, really sweet. And this has got to be, I think, the longest core book for any of the Tiny D6 games, I think. I don't remember Tiny Dungeons being like 260 some pages long. So this should be pretty interesting. Do want to point out, for Drive-Thru RPG, there's also a Dungeons and Dragons May sale going on, where it looks like it's about 20% off on most of the things I've seen, but it appears to be just about anything Dungeons and Dragons related is on sale in some capacity. And of course, as far as the drive-thru sites or any of the one bookshelf sites, such as, say, Wargame Vault, if you are going to visit, be sure to stop by thegaminggang.com, click on one of our banners. If you're going to, say, Drive-Thru RPG, that banner's up top. Wargame Vault is down on the bottom of the page. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I'll get a small percentage of that sale. And I mean very, very small. But all of it adds up. And I point out all the time, every little bit actually pays for the hosting for the website every month. All those nickels and dimes really do add up. So I noticed Pinky's down here. Pinky has decided to come and visit and thinks I'm talking to her. So she's coming down here for a bite to eat, it looks like. So hopefully Pinky won't get too crazy. You'll never see her. You will never see her. She will not come near me while I'm on camera or anything like that. I really have considered, because I have photos of her. I have considered like just doing a little photo, and whenever we hear her, just have it pop up like, you know, like the news images do, and it'd be like a Pinky alert. So, other sale I wanted to mention too is Legion Wargames is celebrating, I believe it's their anniversary they're celebrating, and 20 to 40% off all of their games. So, I have reviewed way back in the day Tonkin and what was it? Eggshells and Slouch Hats, and then what was it? The one that's kind of their B-17. Although I have to admit, I wasn't a super big fan of that because it was just like too many charts and stuff like that. But yes, it was kind of their take on B-17 Queen of the Skies. I think it's B-29, if I remember correctly. So, all right, so that is it for the news today. I know folks are tuning in because they want to check out the modern version of Warfighter from Dan Verssen Games. It's designed by Dan Verssen, amazingly enough. The game is for 1 to 6 players, ages 14 and up, plays in around 30 to 90 minutes per mission. It does carry an MSRP of $59.99. The additional expansions I'm going to be looking at do carry MSRPs of $19.99. So, first thing, I have heard some really good things about Warfighter. Now, this is the modern edition. This is the 3rd edition as well, which I think kickstarted not that long ago. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it kickstarted not too long ago. Maybe that's possible. It's the World War II one that was kickstarted recently too. So a lot of the Dan Verssen Games titles tend to be solitaire games. So Phantom Leader Deluxe is one of my favorite war games. Love it. It is fantastic. I had reviewed some Dan Verssen titles in the past, and then when I moved from Arizona back to the Midwest, something, I don't know, something got thrown into the works here. A wrench got thrown in, and I really didn't see stuff from Dan Verssen Games. So I reached out. Sarah over at DVG was kind enough to send this along. We also have 3 expansions, plus we've got like some little miniatures as well, so we'll take a quick peek at these. So first, let's jump on into the core box. So as I was saying, let me grab a quick sip here. A lot of the Dan Verssen games are really focused on solitaire play, such as Thunderbolt Apache, Napoleon. There's the Patton game, isn't there? Like almost along the lines of like Patton's Best was for Victory Games. Was that? No, I'm sorry. That was Avalon Hill. Was Patton's Best. So one thing I found was interesting is, yes, you can play this solitaire, but You can also play with up to 5 other friends. So it says Warfighter places you and up to 5 of your friends in modern combat missions. You'll begin each mission by selecting your highly trained operators and equipping them with the world's best weapons, equipment, and skills. During the mission, you'll engage hostiles as you advance through locations on the way to your objective. This box includes the cards for 3 settings: Middle East insurgents, jungle drug cartels, and Middle East military. Warfighter can be played with 1 to 6 players. Each player takes on the role of a Special Forces soldier, running a tactical mission. The game system controls the hostile forces. Warfighter does not require any special rules for solitaire play. It is 30 to 90 minutes, as I pointed out. It's a moderate complexity. So I said it's for ages 14 and up because that's normally how I kind of see many war games, which are moderate or higher complexity. So Warfighter, we've got fantasy, World War II, modern, and near future. Huh. I did not know that. So, all right, Dan's popping out of here. Thanks for popping in, Dan. Catch you next time. So we've got our rule book here. So this is showing October 2018. So this is a new print run for this. So let's first take a look through the rule book here. So this is a universal rule book. So I wonder, maybe not. I was going to say I was curious maybe if there was a playbook that was specifically kind of set for modern. I guess not. I would have to take a peek to see what this Warfighter fantasy is. Huh. Maybe that's in the works. I'll have to take a look. Because honestly, and I could be completely wrong, I thought it was World War II and modern, what was available for Warfighter right now. All right, so we've got a little bit of an introduction from Dan Verssen himself, talking about a game overview, talking about the components, showing mission cards, objective cards, location cards, hostile cards, event cards, soldier cards, 3 kinds of soldier cards: squad soldiers, non-player soldiers, and player soldiers. Each player can play more than 1 soldier of any type. So we got the skill cards and equipment cards, weapon cards, service records. Oh wow, that's pretty wild. Action cards. So I'm kind of curious if we're gonna see, because I know a lot of times we'll have kind of a leveling up mechanic with a lot of the Dan Verssen games. So like for an example, like Phantom Leader Deluxe, your pilots can actually level up. They start off as basically greener than green, and then they can achieve like ace status. If I remember right, I think there's like 6 different levels of experience that they can have. Like I said, very, very cool system. Phantom Leader Deluxe is one of my favorite war games, as I mentioned earlier. So talking about the dice, we got some 10-sided dice. We've got some different counters, talking about our different counters here. I have to point out, it seems like the rules for Warfighter are a little more image heavy than I seem to recall some of the other Dan Verssen games that I had reviewed. Granted, we're looking like 4 or 5 years back. So we've got objective cards, player soldiers. It's Duncan. Okay, non-player soldiers. So non-player soldiers start the game with weapon, skills, and equipment cards noted on their cards. They don't get a hand of action cards. You choose how they use their actions each soldier turn. Okay. Then we got the different weapons. Got equipment cards, melee cards. Then we got skill cards, knife fighter. Here are these service record cards. That sounds pretty interesting. Service record cards. That talks about purchasing your cards, purchasing weapons, skills, and equipment, and ammo. That was another thing that you would see in Thunderbolt Apache or Phantom Leader Deluxes. You would actually do the loadouts for all of your planes, which was really cool because it'd be like, okay, well, this is the mission that we're supposed to be flying. these are the loadouts I'm going to select for the planes, but it would be possible you'd run across like anti-air assets or other fighters or surface-to-air missiles, things like that. Very, very cool. So we've got playing action cards. This is mainly a card game. So as far as card games go, though, this is not like a card game where you're like, oh, I've got a hand of cards and everything that's going on is coming from my hand of cards. What DVG basically means by a card game is everything's kind of represented by cards. So we got location markers, different locations, environments, how to place your location cards, hostile penalties, soldier attacks, so it's explaining all that, explosion and spray, suppressed weapons, then we get into hand-to-hand combat, shadows ability. So some soldiers have the Shadows ability printed on their card. Only soldiers with the Shadows ability can attempt to perform shadow actions. Are we talking about like ninja stuff? No, it looks, yeah, I guess it's more along the lines of like hand-to-hand combat, like sneaking up. So we've got hostile cards, event cards. Talking about the hostile's turn. Soldier wounds. Completing the objective. Nation skills. That's pretty wild. Specialist skills. There we go. Seasoned. A little A1 maybe? What? So we're seeing, I was going to say, I noticed a lot of World War II. Looks like a lot of the images in that were like World War II, and almost looked like some stuff was Vietnam. So we've got the different campaigns, offensive and defensive campaigns. Talking about medals, airborne missions, fortification missions, shore invasion missions, Warfighter World War II medals. That's pretty cool. Yes, my nephew Cameron would go bonkers if this was the World War II. Because he is yeah, of course, it's Uncle Jeff. Uncle Jeff got him into military history and stuff like that. And history in general, really. But, yeah, he's just really into World War II stuff. So we got player campaigns, optional rules. Well, there's a lot to this, I gotta tell you. It is moderate complexity, but just looking through the book, we can see there's just loads and loads of images. And I had commented it seems like it's a little more image heavy than some of the older Dan Verssen Games rule books. I was not implying that you didn't have a lot of images in the older books. It just seems to me like there's just loads of images in here to really make sure that you understand what's going on. So that is the, 58 pages? No, I'm sorry, 53 pages. So 53 pages for the core rules. Then we've got, usually have something along these lines. Oh, wow. This is actually pretty big. I'm going to have to move some of this stuff out of the way. This is kind of a, operations setup, kind of. Now, I believe I saw there's even a mat that's available. So here we go. Let's I'm gonna fold this out a little bit. Getting a little bit of glare here. Look. I've kind of moved the lighting around a little bit, so I can actually move some of it around. So if I find I'm getting a bunch of glare from one particular light, I can kind of move things around, as before it was just all kind of locked into place. So here, gotta point out, this is not going to completely fit. so let's show off a little bit. So the first third is going to show the turn sequence, attack sequence. Got some of our cards are going here. Then as I open this up here in the center, looks like we've got cards going in these areas here. Maybe this is kind of the area that your troops are moving through, your specialists are moving through. It's a possibility there. And this is where they run across hostiles and things like that. Then we have, for here, we've got a mission timer. Talking about the setup, hostile deck, action deck, mission cards. That's cool. So this is a little bit bigger than what I would normally see for an example, like I know I'm going to mention the same games quite a bit, but so for an example, like with Phantom Leader Deluxe, it was it's about this big. The board that you use, there's a few actually that you utilize, but really nicely done. Very, very nicely done here, I can tell you that. So we've got that. Let's see what else we got cooking. This box is loaded with stuff, I'll tell you that right now. When I opened this up, there was not a whole heck of a lot of air. So what is this? This looks as if this is some sort of a player aid card. Oh, this is keywords. This is all keyword stuff. That's pretty wild. So almost like a glossary, but it's set up as keywords. So it says this is a comprehensive list of keywords used in the Warfighter series. All right. So then we've got, looks like I think we've got a couple of punch boards with counters. So we've got this one here. Action, ammo. These are numbered. Not sure what these might represent here. But these are dual. So basically showing you're out of ammo, used your actions. So this is the first sheet. We got another sheet of them here. Grenades, rockets, claymores, smoke grenades, flashbangs, bandages, bipod deployed. Must be for machine guns. Probably light machine guns. All right, so we've got that. We've got a 6-sided die and 3 10-sided dice. Got those right there. Then we've got 4 decks of cards. So let's see what we've got here. And I'm actually going to zoom in for this. Let's move these. Let's zoom in a bit so we can take a look at these cards here. And zoom in a little bit more. And out a little bit. There we go. So, okay, so this is the Middle East. This is the jungle. This is an action deck. And another action deck. So I'm taking a guess because I thought there were 3. So I'll bet you one of these action decks is not a full action deck. That's just a stab in the dark. All right. So I'm just going to use... It's way quicker for me to just use the hobby knife to cut these open. So we got these. So I noticed one of the expansions is Eastern Europe Adversaries. And it's like, all right, I'm going to hunt you down. I'm going to kill you. You took my wife's kidneys and left her in a bathtub of ice. It's like Liam Neeson pops up. I just thought it was kind of funny. It's like, okay, Eastern Europe Adversaries. All right, we'll be looking at that. Be looking at that in a couple of minutes here. Okay, so we've got all of these decks here. Cap that back up. All right, so let's look at this first action deck. Let's look at some of these cards here. So it looks like U.S. troops. So I think these are the actions. Let's see what we've got here. Maybe these are the actions. So we've got like advance, suppress, snapshot, move out. Oh, here we go. Soldier cards. So this is from Middle East. That was just in that deck. Soldier cards. So we should probably take a look through all these just to kind of sort them out correctly. So jungle, jungle, jungle. Middle East. Oh, there's a lot of Middle East here. Oh, we've got military and insurgent as far as the Middle East goes. Okay, soldier cards. Skill cards. Equipment cards. And we got weapon cards. And more action deck. Okay, so let's make sure all these are action deck. Looks like they are. Yep. I don't know. They're all kind of cool. So objective card for jungle. Objective card Middle East. Mission card jungle. Mission card Middle East. So they're actually, it looks as if we've got like 2 campaigns that take place in the Middle East, and then the one that's the drug cartels in the jungle. So let's look at some of these action cards. And as I point out, I have no clue. I have absolutely no clue what these are, but shortcut, shown a location, it says 2 experience points to play. And then we've got like hostiles. So I'm wondering if that's like how many hostiles we've got in that location that we're in. So we got shortcut, city, street, mosque. Oh, and it says locations too. So we've got Middle East, Middle East, Middle East, stronghold, catwalk, ruins, side street, narrow street, marketplace, citadel. Okay, then we've got jungle. Now, these are in the action deck, so repelling, trail, stream, incline, choke point, kill zone. Deep jungle. And then I like how they've got artwork. It's actually photography, and then it says, okay, so what is this a photograph of? And who the photo credit is. That's very cool. River, wetlands, high ground, clearing, light jungle, and low ground for Middle East. Back over here. What else we got in this action deck? Now we got the actual actions. Suppress. On point. Play when you, any soldier, are the first soldier to enter a location. After you discard to enter, permanently reduce its entrance cost by 2. Village. Another jungle card. Pop that over there. Take cover. Steady aim. Play when you declare a ranged attack. Add 2 to your attack rolls. Okay. Combined fire. Prepared fire. Advance. Play when you, any soldier, are paying an entrance cost. Add 3 to your movement value. Snapshot. This looks interesting. I have to admit, this looks kind of interesting. Move out. What else do we have here? Reloading. You, any soldier, may perform a reload without spending an action. That's cool. Sniper support. Good communications. Squad entry. Stealth kill. Follow me! And stealth attack. Cool. So we've got that. So those are the action cards for the action deck. We got the mission cards for the jungle. So we've got some enemies here. So we got a thug, lookout, hired muscle, sniper, rocket team. I would take a stab that these are not just going to be completely random. That based on kind of like the experience level that your soldiers are going to have, or like the point value your soldiers will have. I will take a stab that you will have certain point levels. So for an example, see, we have the thug shows a 0 here. The rocket team has a 2. Taking a wild stab that you're only going to be fighting a certain total amount of bad guys. Excuse me. There we go. Something, almost like something caught my throat there. Here's the leader. Another leader. How many leaders are there? You got 2 leaders? Drug runner. Locals. Another more drug runners. Smugglers. Slow going, so that's an event. Lost is an event. VIP sit down. Oh, these must be the, yep, these are your objectives. So we've got 3 objectives. Yep, 3 objectives and 3 missions. So we've got a VIP sit down as one of the objectives. Drug huts. Destroy 3 drug huts. Cartel boss. Kill the boss. And missions can be covert, high impact, or a sweep. So those are the jungle missions. Let's see what we've got with Middle East. So we've got a suicide bomber, leader, refugees, vehicle IED, encounter, rifleman, radio team, flanking force, machine gun, RPG soldier. Now I notice there's no credits here on the photographs for these. Doesn't say what's being shown either, so just pointing that out. So we got infantry, veteran unit. Okay, then we get movement, fire support, everyday life, militants, gunmen, insurgents, a stalker, RPG team. Okay, and then we get the missions and then the objectives as well. So, enemy HQ objective, hostage rescue objective, VIP helicopter, destroy the helicopter, VIP kidnapping, and then we got missions in and out, on foot, and going deep, as well as short and sweet. So, nice. So these are all the cards that we're going to find in the action decks as well as the objectives. So let's take a look at the actual soldiers we've got. So we've got... Oh, so these are actually named after real people, I think. Look at this. So that's pretty wild. Baines, Stone the Third, Hurt. I won't even try to pronounce that. Holty, Baker, Stevens, Thomas, NPS Forster, or I should say Foster. So we actually get quite a few. Okay, now we get the squads too. So now we get the squads here. Is that, no, I guess that's, just another, soldier there. I was looking, I'm like, is he like an NCO or something? What's going on here? So now we got, these are the skills, right? Okay, so marksman, agile, veteran, shooter, close combat. And this should be equipment here, right? Yep. First aid kit, ACOG sight, canteen, knee elbow pads, molly. Now we got the weapons, M16A2. There we go. M203, M4 carbine, shotgun, sniper rifle, pistol, and SMG, the K-bar knife. There's the grenade and the claymore. So I don't necessarily think that you would actually assign just one card to, like, your soldiers. Maybe these are utilized to kind of, well, if you've got more than one soldier with like an M16A2, this is like your reference card for it. I don't know. I'm not sure. So those are the equipment, skill, weapons, and soldier cards. So let's put all this stuff back into the box here. Let's zoom back out. And like I said, we're actually going to take a peek at the expansions that were sent along as well. So, I'm going to split the action deck. And of course, with most games, now the card stock on the cards is okay. It's not fantastic. It's all right. I would certainly recommend sleeving the cards. There's no doubt about that. Okay, so let's see. Put all this stuff back in here. Come on, you. Yeah, I had a feeling it would be a little too high. All right, is this short enough? Probably not. Barely. Okay. Usually in a situation like this, I will actually take little baggies. I have like small baggies that are maybe a little bit bigger than the actual deck. And I would sort these cards out, put them like that so they don't fly all over the place. So we've got the various decks of cards. We got our dice. We've got 2 punch boards of counters. We've got the cool mounted kind of like operations layout. We've got the keywords, and then we've also got the core rulebook for all versions of Warfighter. And that's what we get when we take everything outside the box for the core game of Warfighter, the Modern Special Forces card game. So let's take a look. Aha! So we've got a newcomer in here. Hi, Robert. Interesting. I kind of like the cards. I didn't sleeve. Yes, for sure. Baggies go a long way. Yes, they really do. And I go to dollar stores all the time. Pick up little. They're like, I think they call them like snack size. They're not huge, but they hold a deck of cards really nicely. All right. So first off, we've got the expansion number 1, which is Reloading. Then we also have Speedball, which is number 5. Then we've got, as I was kidding around, we got the Eastern European Adversaries. And then we've got these little, that are almost, I wouldn't say these are 15 millimeter. Yeah, maybe they're 15 mil. We'll take a look at these little figures here. But first off, let's take a look at this first expansion here. There are quite a few expansions for Warfighter. As looking at the modern one, I would take a stab. The same is true for World War II. So let's zoom in a little bit. So Reloading says it includes 60 cards and 4 custom bullet dice to your loadout. This expansion gives you more weapons, more equipment, more soldiers, more locations, more actions, and more hostiles to deploy in battle. Right, so the bullet dice could be kind of interesting, huh? Ah, there we go. They're bullet dice, all right. So we got 10 siders and we got a 6. So these are the 10s. That's the 6. So that's kind of funny. I am not a big, proponent of different size dice. I mean, yes, I kind of get a kick out of it, but I'll be honest, I'll still stick with my 10-sider and my 6-siders. So that's kind of cool, though. All of these expansions all carry an MSRP of $19.99. So, all right, so we've got this deck here. So it looks as if you were going to use a lot of these decks, probably going to have to take that insert out of the core box. So we've got Jungle or Middle East with military and insurgents. Now, I gotta be honest, these cards seem to be thicker than the core game. That's a little strange. Got more skills, more equipment, got more weapons, and then the rest of these are action. Nope. Got Jungle Objective, Jungle Mission, action card there, Objective card, Middle East, and we got more soldiers. So let's take a look at the soldiers that we've got. So he's a veteran. He's got a little bit of experience. An M203 gunner. Got a couple squads as well. So that's kind of cool. So, yeah, I guess you're supposed to assign each soldier a weapon then, because we already have M16A4s, MK17. Oh, there's a new machine gun. Yeah, another submachine gun, a couple of those. Ooh, shotguns. All right. Yeah, there we go. 1911 pistol. Oh, we've got a law and M2 munitions. Cool. So that is the new weapons. New skills we get: leadership, operator, focus, squad fire. Some of the other equipment we get here: red dot sight. I swear to God, I just grabbed this, I looked, and I thought it said red hot sauce. I was like, what? I was like, what in the world? So Robert says that, I believe, talking about the cards were thicker when they bought Warfighter, because these are actually nice and thick. They are thicker than the cards that are in this 3rd edition. At least by feel. They certainly feel it. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. We've got Elite Guards, another Drug Runner, Ambushers. So we got those. Those were the Jungle. Showboat is an objective, and River Approach as far as missions. Then Middle East, we've got Sniper, Rifleman, Scout, Sniper. Helo Insert. An objective is taking out the bomb shop. What else we got here? Armed Mob. Fanatic. Alright, so that is what we've got in the Reloading expansion. We've got the bullet dice, and wasn't it about 60? Yep, 60 new cards. Get those back in there. Pop the old bullet dice in. See, now my nephew Cameron, he would love the bullet dice. In fact, we were playing Tiny Epic Western that comes with little bullet dice, and he just loves those little bullet dice. Okay, so our next expansion is Speedball. Gives us more bullet dice and 60 cards. Says this expansion gives you extra copies of the most popular weapon and equipment cards, as well as new weapons, new equipment, new soldiers. Okay, so there we go. Same bullet dice as before. Let's see what we've got. we got some new soldiers. Oh, looks like we've got a woman. Certainly looks like a woman to me. Yep, says Specialist Monica Brown. Dowell, Bryant, Rojas, Hunter, McGrath. These are squads there. Okay, so we got more weapons here. Just looks like stuff we already have run through. Although the G22 pistol, I think that's new. I didn't see that before. I don't think we saw the MK24 with the suppressor on it either. I think that's a new pistol too. So quite a bit of equipment. Now, there we go. The 320 grenade launcher. That's new. So, yeah, the Gustav. That's new. Yeah, the Stinger. We didn't see a Stinger before. So, neat. Oh, okay, we got these again. Body armor, I think that's new. I don't think we had that. Ghillie suits. MREs. There you go. There's new equipment for you. MREs. So we've got, let's see. Here's objectives, missions, situation report card. Oh yeah, we haven't had these. I think these were more like the World War II cards that we saw. So we didn't have these before. I haven't seen situation report cards. Okay, so we've got skills, another equipment card. So these are all skills. What's the other one? Oh, jeez. Oh, cool. What a piece of equipment is a helicopter. So close combat, evasion, point blank, good to go, machine gunner, pistol and SMG, squared away, zeroed, fast reload, fast learner. Okay. Then the situational reports on your own, stealth, and double time. Got the equipment here, these objectives. So we've got long haul mission in Middle East, VIP elimination for the Middle East, border patrol as far as a mission for the jungle, and intercept a drug shipment. So pretty cool. So Robert says that the situational cards are optional. Okay. It says I hope so because I don't use them. So Speedball gives us 60 more cards. And come on, you get in there. And more bullet dice. And then we've got the Eastern Europe Adversaries here. So this adds 56 cards to your missions. This expansion includes the hostiles, events, and locations you need to engage the forces of Eastern Europe in a battle. Okay, cool. Let's see what we got. And they're not even wrapped up in plastic. That's cool. So I don't have to worry about that. So now we get Eastern Europe hostile decks. So we got military. I think it's all going to be military, right? Okay, then we got action deck. Objective cards, and we should have missions, right? Yep, then we got mission cards. Okay, so let's see what we've got as far as the action deck. Checkpoint, housing complex, guarded highway, busy highway, city street, abandoned factory, cement factory. It's where they fit you for your cement shoes before tossing you into the lake. Residential, isolated factory, a lot of factories, dirt road, avenue, crowded streets, farmland, heavy construction, patrolled area, roadblock, and hidden cache. Cool. Nice. Got a whole new location here. Let's see what we got as far as the hostiles. So we've got sentry. We've got patrol. Infiltrator. Perimeter security. A few of these. RPG soldier. What, he's playing role-playing games? Eh? What is it? Eh, what is that what he's doing? Gotta take him out because he's playing a role-playing game. Security detachment. He's got a squad. Oh, a PMP2. Okay. Got some helicopters. T-72. Okay. Alright, then we've got event rioting, military presence, safe house, and fire support. So we've got mission cards, we've got into the fray, rural drop zone, truck deployment, extended mission, political priority, and no worries, with objectives to be run for the border. It's an escape mission. ICBM launcher, take out the launcher. Gunship, take out a Hind gunship. Take out a VIP. AFV scout force to destroy 2 armored fighting vehicles. And take out a command AFV. Alright, so those are the objectives as well. So that's what we find with everything from the Eastern Europe Adversary deck. Let's put those in here too. Alright, so pretty sweet. So we got a lot of goodies here. Last thing I want to do here is just take a quick peek. I'll zoom in. I'm not sure how much detail we're going to be able to get. And I got to be honest, I don't know where these came from. Well, I mean, I know where they came from. They came in the box. But I did not see something where it was like buy little plastic miniatures. I saw where it was like you could purchase, I want to say 15 metal minis. So let's zoom on in, try to get a better look at these. So, these are just to be utilized as your soldiers, because we got 2, 4, 6. And, the detail's okay. I mean, it's basically a 15mm miniature. So the detail's not gonna knock you out. But you can probably paint those up pretty cool. Sweet. Maybe put a number or something on the base so that you know who is who. Or even take some old counters that you have. Maybe if you got some big chunky counters for a game that, you know how a lot of times you get some extras. Glue those onto the counters as well. So Robert says the miniatures were always an option. There's cardboard counters in the earlier version. So, yeah, this does seem like a really cool game with a lot of different features to it, which is pretty much how I remembered the Dan Verssen Games when I was doing reviews. That there was always a lot of bang for your buck as far as the games went. So, I will be digging into Warfighter, believe it or not, a little later on tonight. Because Cubs are playing right now, so it's not like I'm going to be watching a Cubs night game. So I'm going to actually kind of dig in and check out the core game for Warfighter. So as I mentioned before, Warfighter is for 1 to 6 players. I assume about ages about 14 and up. Each mission takes about 30 to 90 minutes to play. The core game carries an MSRP of $59.99. Each of the additional expansions do carry an MSRP of $19.99. These are just 3 of them. We see it's like number 8. So there are many more expansions that are out there as well. And there's also the World War II Warfighter, which for some strange reason, I think that is the one that was recently kickstarting, because I could have swore I put a news piece out about it. So, but that's it for today's show. So, yeah, a little longer than I expected. Oh, so Robert says, excellent, have a great night, love your channel. Thank you very much, Robert. Thanks for popping in. Wednesdays are usually Wargame Wednesdays. Thursdays are RPGs. Rest of the week, miniatures sometimes on Mondays. So we do get a good crowd of Wargamers who pop in and check out the Wednesday shows. So, Robert, thank you very much for popping in. So, as I always like to point out, and of course, I'm sure Rob Moffat's still floating around, so don't want to be like ignoring him. It's like, yeah, we got a new person who's hanging out in chat, so yeah, if you've been here a long time, always watching the show, I'll just take you for granted. No. So, so Rob says, super show. Thanks, Jeff. You're welcome, Rob. Thank you for popping in. So I always like to point out when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, please visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. By now you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Something important as well is when I do the tabletop gaming news, if there's something on the news that you see and you're like, oh, hey, that looks kind of interesting, I'd like to check it out, you can just go to thegaminggang.com and there's the news piece is right there with links for anything that you need to go check out. So just point that out. Anyway, appreciate those of you who were watching live. So we had Robert, we had Rob, we had Dan from No Enemies Here. I'm sure we had some folks floating around and just didn't say anything. So I definitely appreciate anyone who popped into chat to keep me company tonight. And of course, those of you who watched live or who are watching after the fact, thank you very much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks again for watching The Daily Dope, presented by The Gaming Gang. If you like this episode, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. And if you dig the channel, please subscribe. If you'd like to check out our previous episode, click right here. And if you want to check out a somewhat randomly selected episode, give a click right down here. It'll be like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You just don't know what you'll get. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'm Jeff McAleer.